Now entering Nerdist.com.
Oh, Gorley's gonna pull the couch all the fuck out.
Holy
Oh, watch out, the wall's falling.
And the wall falls down. Kanye West.
While Matt Gorley was overseas in Scotland and the United Kingdom and Ireland, I believe he grew a pair and just now decides to do whatever the fuck he feels like, where he's moved the couch to the table.
Where's my beef and woman?
We don't have our normal setup, guys. We're at the studio where we record, where we tape at midnight.
Hollywood Center Studios.
Thank you, Craig. If you want to come to Hollywood Center Studios, Craig is terrified by the. It's okay. It's fine. We usually start by playing the theme song, which is a great theme song written by Bono and Edge.
Let's do it. Hold on. Wait up.
Hang on.
Sung by the forever young Tina Turner.
Ill-prepared at best.
Are we really started?
Well, we can start now.
Okay, hold on. Let's start.
Katie, drop this on at the end, and we'll see who really listens to this whole thing. Yeah. Like cut it, and then just no. Don't even edit. It's not even really edit. It's just snip,
Here we go.
flop.
Chills everywhere.
Not even just the spine.
I think I like this theme song.
I love it.
I think I like this
I'm
one.
not a huge
You're too early.
Now here's on time. The song is too late.
Yeah, thank you. You're absolutely right.
See reflections on the water.
Isn't there a line about watching you as a child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yes.
Let's have a listen.
There's also a part that sounds like it's going to go into Wind Beneath My Wings. Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Yep.
I've got a special alternative song tonight.
GoldenEye. Okay. And here it is. Here's the weird thing.
This is weird.
From the shadows.
As a child. Now, was she a child, or was the person that she's singing to the child?
Well, also, how I know normally the song
less
sentiment
creepy.
doesn't have to pertain to the movie, but
I'd say
your
there's no
mind. In
children
your
in this
mind.
movie.
Yeah.
There's no James Bond we never see as a child.
Maybe like when Alec
The
and
Cossacks?
Jimmy were just starting, they were like children in MI6.
but it feels like Fagin from is it Great Expectations that just watches the kid his whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pip.
It's definitely
Maybe
a
that's
reference
what
to Great
maybe that's what
Gotta be,
Bono
right?
and the Edge were thinking when they wrote this.
Did Bono? Is it just me? Bono and the Edge also did a song for Batman Forever.
No, that was
So I know Seal had,
Seal recorded
yeah.
Kiss from a Rose.
but I believe that there was a song on that soundtrack by Bono and the
There
Edge.
very well may be. Bono, of course, and the Edge recently, very recently, won a Golden Globe.
Good for them. Bravo.
Yeah.
If you're listening,
Recently divorced, unfortunately.
Who?
from
Bono
each other.
and the Edge. Yeah.
From each other?
No.
That's awful.
Split custody of the children.
Joining us today is a very funny. You've seen his videos online. Hopefully, you've checked out his podcast. I've been on it, and probably will be asked again to be on it. I mean, I have a really good feeling. He also writes for At Midnight. His podcast is called It's That Episode, which is a great premise. And then I'll let Craig tell it. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Rowan is here.
Hi.
Thank you.
That was a lengthy intro.
That was, it felt good.
Oh, good.
The premise of the podcast quickly, if you're into TV movies, you like James Bond, you like TV, you like movies. I invite a guest over. We watch any TV show that they want to watch. We watch that show that they want to watch. We talk about it. We talk about a bunch of other crap. Matt chose out of any TV show. Guess what TV show?
Star Trek?
No.
Oh, wait, I remember hearing about this. It's some real cheesy kids show or something?
No.
What is it?
No, close. You're not close.
Not even
actually.
close.
You're
Nothing's
not
close.
at all.
He chose to pick Pawn Stars.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys would
because though in that episode they sold something Star Trek related.
James Bond related.
James
But
Bond
that was a
related.
coincidence.
Oh, really?
That was very coincidental.
What did they sell James Bond related?
It was Vic Flick's Fender Stratocaster.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
We talked
yeah.
about this. I believe we talked about this on this podcast.
We-
But
may
I
have.
mean, the thing is, I've been staying with Matt for a little bit, and he's been watching, I know, Frasier nonstop. He has a Frasier CD in his car that is like, so you think anything would point to basically Frasier, any of the other shows that he constantly talks about. But he goes
No,
to
but I went with
Pawn
Is that the one with
It's
the
fun.
song that's all parsnips and
no.
turnips and
No, it's tossed salad and scrambled eggs, Matt Gorley. I'm actually disappointed in you. Like,
That's
genuinely.
fair.
This is the
That's
first
fair.
genuine disappointment I've had to express.
Look, it's a new year. I've reset the old hard drive and just letting new information in out.
so
with
you
the
just
old...
essentially you just wiped your partition.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who you are.
That 2013 partition gone.
Speaking of that, we're back, everybody.
We are back.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time, but you know what? He needed to go out of the country. I needed to find myself.
Yeah.
And a segue, there was a big gap between the last James Bond
Right.
movie and this GoldenEye.
Exactly. We're only doing it to keep
Yeah,
consistent.
we're just letting you know what it felt like
Yeah.
between 1989 and 1995.
That's how we all
I mean,
felt.
the Berlin Wall fell down.
So much
in real
changed.
life. There's
Right.
it's just
If you want to know what changed, just watch the opening credits for GoldenEye.
Yeah.
GoldenEye, I decided
I like some children.
that I'm only. Is it okay if I do this? If during the podcast I only say the title of the film through the song?
I would appreciate it
Okay.
if you did. 'cause
That's
Having introduced that, I will be disappointed if you don't.
No, I'm only going to say GoldenEye. But the thing is, I've literally had that stuck in my head since this movie came
Yeah,
out.
it is
It's
catchy,
very
three
catchy.
syllables.
It's super catchy, and I think that just is a testament to not only the unique vocal stylings of Ms. Tina Turner,
Yeah.
but also the melody writing and lyrical ingeniousness of Bono and the Edge.
You never know how I,
I watched you from the shadows as a child.
Only somebody named The Edge could
Yeah.
write that. You know?
Because it's edgy. It's really edgy, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about this. What we like to do, Craig, when we have a guest on, is we like to talk about...
Which is every episode.
Except for one. We
Two.
did one once.
Even two.
Two. We did two.
Yeah.
We like to ask you what your life experiences with the world's greatest secret agent are. James Bond.
With Austin Powers? Well, I guess it started.
Did you watch any of it from the shadows as a child?
Yeah, I watched. That's the thing is, I watched James Bond from the shadows as a child. That is actually quite true. No, well, I guess James Bond wise, I watched a lot of the old Sean Connery ones when I was in the shadows as a child because my dad was a big James Bond film fan.
Oh.
So I remember once my mom, I think, may have gone away on like a short trip by herself or had to be out of town. And my dad, twice we did movie marathons. One was a Pink Panther marathon and one was a
that's
James
nice.
Bond marathon.
That's a good couple of days.
So those were great days. They're stuck in my
Good
memory.
dad.
So I remember watching, I think, The Man with the Golden Gun, Goldfinger, you know, the classics.
The golds.
The golds. And then, and my dad, my dad's only dating advice that he ever gave me is James Bond related.
Oh, please.
He said, never take a girl to see a James Bond film. That's what he said.
Interesting.
Because I guess he had as a high school, you know. When
Sweetheart was taken away by
yeah,
James
and then,
Bond.
Meaning like she'll be put off by the misogyny, or you could never live up to what...
I think it's probably the misogyny, and I think maybe
I
action.
disagree. I think your father's telling you that you're not nearly the man that Sean Connery is.
I think it's also just meet halfway with the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's good advice.
think something that.
Wow.
Why does it just have to be about what you want to watch?
Yeah.
We're all pointing out now why Craig is the only successfully married person in this room.
To be fair, the first movie in high school I saw with my high school girlfriend was Freddy Got Fingered. So I think that it was lost in translation. a little bit.
yeah.
But so I watched those films, and then this movie, GoldenEye,
I like the ladies.
was the first one I saw in the theater, and it was because.
Christmas 1995.
In '89, I guess I was probably like 5 years old.
Yeah.
So that was the last one. And I don't even know if my dad saw those. Was that Timothy
Tim Dalton's.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if he saw those ones, but this felt like, I remember it. I think my dad got a little bit excited about it because I think they advertised it as like the real return to Bond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sort of admitted that.
Yeah.
You know exactly how they advertised it because I made you sit through all of the 3 theatrical and television trailers.
Oh, boy.
I want to. One of the trailers really got me angry.
Yeah, it did. He genuinely got mad at
Why?
one of the
It
trailers.
literally showed the only 2 twists in the movie. It showed both of the things.
Did you
can
watch
say
it before
Everyone
or
watched
after?
it.
We watched it afterwards.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
I knew. I guess both of the. I mean, you know them. If
Yeah,
you've-
it's not...
But it's easy to guess. But if
It's
you're,
not usual suspects.
they showed that 006 betrays him, and they showed the pen. It's like why the pen that's an exploding pen, and
Yeah.
who's holding it at the end of the movie? It's like, just at least give us a little bit of
Right.
I don't know, very unenjoyable.
He
But
was very upset by it, and it was very funny to me.
and so, but that's my experience. And then also, of course, this was the first one I saw in theater, and then the GoldenEye video game was a big part of my life as well.
GoldenEye video game, also a big part of my life. Now, Matt, my better half, my wiser half,
Oh.
not as big a fan of the GoldenEye game.
Oh, it's
as
not
you
that I
and
wasn't a
are.
fan. I just didn't play it. When I have played it, I've enjoyed it.
Did you
very
have
much.
N64?
No, I did not. I was a
that's the
Sega
thing.
man.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was Nintendo.
Sega man.
I was Nintendo. I went Genesis, but we went back
Oh.
for N64.
Oh, no kidding. Well, I was Sega Master instead of Nintendo 64.
Poor
Is that Sega
decision.
CD or is
Poor
it
No,
decision.
pre.
Poor
I
decision.
disagree. But also, I basically that was the end of my second wave video gaming. Like, I was an Atari 2600 guy as a
Yep.
kid. And then Sega.
Listen, I had a 2600.
I made it. I remember praying to God, Nintendo or Sega, give me a sign. Give me a sign.
You're praying to the Nintendo god or the Sega
Just
god.
any God that will tell me which is heaven and which is hell.
I can imagine a young Gorley.
You know why I chose Sega?
Why?
Because it had 2 different types of cartridges you could put in.
Uh-huh.
So there was the main cartridge, and then there was these like little wallet-sized things you could put in the back, and they were cheaper. And they were shitty games. But for some reason, that really charmed me.
You're like, oh, this also takes shitty games.
Yeah, I may have made the wrong choice. I'll
Yeah.
be the first to admit.
No,
but-
you definitely made the wrong
Well,
choice.
I don't know. There was this
So
one game.
So what year did GoldenEye come out? The,
The
video
film?
game.
Oh, I think it came out. My guess would be 96, 97, because I feel like, or that's when I got it at least.
Does Katie? Do you know?
Oh,
What
wait,
year
I might
GoldenEye?
have it up right in front of me.
I want to know.
GoldenEye was modified into a
you
racing
gotta sing
game.
that.
Nintendo announced a remake of the original. Nope.
Nope, that's not what we want. Yeah, I was like around. I want to know what I was like 14, 15. Wheelhouse.
yeah.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah, sure.
GoldenEye, N64. God darn it! I searched the wrong thing, guys.
I've got
I'm
it
in the middle of it.
5, 4.
You got it. You got it. You
Started
got
the
it.
countdown way too early.
This is the
It
part of
came
the
out
podcast where people
on-
criticize us for being
I was right.
unprofessional.
23rd August 1997 is when GoldenEye, the video game, came out.
The children.
Now, what's
pervert.
interesting about the game, I think that Craig and I can agree, and I think it's probably across a lot of our audience, played it constantly.
These were 2 games that I played. It was GoldenEye and it was Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And
Because they were
GoldenEye,
the first
Yeah.
really good
Multiplayer.
multiplayers, right?
and I played with my brother so much. And the other thing was there was a lot. First of all, when we were watching the movie, I only saw this movie once when I was a kid. And then I played GoldenEye the game so many times that it's like in my brain, and I didn't realize that there were like it was so based off of the film. Like there were locations where I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in the game.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And I played that game
yeah.
so much that it would scare me eventually because there's so many like proximity mines. Like you'd always be afraid when you're just gonna blow up.
Yeah.
And
Maybe the reason I didn't like it is because a friend of mine named Kurt Scholler introduced me to it, but by the time he did, he was so
good at it.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what kind of learning curve I
Yep.
was on. I was just
Never gonna beat him.
murdered within seconds. And
Yeah.
nobody likes anything you just consistently suck at. You know?
My friend Heath, growing up, we would play the game, and he got so good at it that he would place proximity mines at all of the spawning locations.
So you
so
couldn't
when you
spawn?
would spawn, you'd immediately die, and then respawn somewhere else, and then die.
What's this guy's problem?
I mean, just the desire to win, I guess.
Well, that seems
I mean, it was
deep-seated.
crazy. But what's interesting?
what's he up to now?
He works for Sony.
It paid off.
But what was interesting about watching this movie, which I don't think I've watched all the way through in 5 years, I'll say, was just remembering the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you forget that, like, the game... Okay, so let's talk about the opening of GoldenEye. We haven't
Awesome.
seen... This is the first outing of Matt Gorley's least favorite human being, Pierce Brosnan.
That's not true.
I wanna
That's
say
not
it
true.
in
I
case
like
he
the
comes on
human
the
being
show.
quite a
What's
lot.
your take on Hitler?
He's pretty cool, I guess. I
Hitler
like
would've been a
Pierce
more
Brosnan
believable
quite a
James
bit. His Bond and Bond movies are troubling for me.
Troubling. I enjoy Pierce Brosnan. I see all your critiques of his Bond-isms. And I understand them. But this is the first time.
Let
we're
me
seeing it.
stress again.
Yes, go ahead.
Because some people get real upset
Uh-huh.
that even the worst Bond movie is so much fun for me to watch compared to some of the best other movies, you know?
Oh, I agree.
It's all relative.
I mean, there's a reason we've seen all of these movies a number of times. We
Yeah.
know what we're getting out
Right.
of them, but we still
Right.
pop them in.
I'll still put Tomorrow Never Dies in.
I don't think you will.
I do. I
I
have.
love
I
Tomorrow Never
have.
Dies, as we've
because
discussed.
if you haven't seen one, like if I'm watching a bunch and I haven't seen that one in forever, the freshness of it still goes a long way.
It is nice. There's 22, 3 of them to choose from now
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about. So this we hadn't seen James Bond in 6 years at this point.
Wow.
You could have gone through high school. You could have gone through college. You could have gone through most of elementary
Could
school.
have grown as a person.
You could have gone through puberty.
You could have a. If
So
the
you're
last
saying
time- the
Timothy
last-
Dalton was prepubescent?
He may have been.
If you had a child the day the last Bond movie last was in a theater, you could have a 6-year-old child.
you could have 7 children.
If the
by that time.
Menendez
Yeah.
brothers'
possible.
alibi
Oh, that's right.
of going to the last James
Save
Bond
that
movie,
for the License to Kill.
that was their alibi. They
Was
bought-
that really?
They bought
Wait.
tickets for the License to Kill. It might have been Living Daylights. What year were the Menendez
think it's
brothers?
License to
87
Kill.
or 89?
No, it was later than
It was 89 because I
I'm
remember
pretty sure
the
it's
trial.
License to Kill.
So yeah, they bought tickets to License to Kill. They didn't go to. Then they went home and
I think
had
they got
a
tickets to
Kill.
License to Drive.
They anyway.
Wait, I never even put together the connection of the title
Yeah, interesting, right?
License to Kill.
Thank you.
And they go home and kill.
Yeah.
God.
Read about it,
Macabre.
kids, on the internet.
That was their little inside joke.
Yeah,
That's
no,
their
yeah,
inside.
they could have chosen
That's their inside person
Lethal
joke.
Weapon. No, that's too on the nose. Last Crusade. That's too symbolic.
Oh, Last Crusade. We'll do that when we do our Indiana Jones
All right.
appendix to this podcast.
Yeah. Indiana Jonesing.
Indiana Jonesing. We'll do it.
That I
I mean,
will
now that
do.
we've said that we'll do it, we're going.
Well,
to have
that
to
one
do it.
is the next follow-up because at least the title will still make
Now,
sense.
this is what you do. You call it Jonesing in Indiana. You go to Indiana. You get addicted to heroin. You watch all the films, and you're just doing like a whirlwind week. You
I love
record
it.
every
I
episode.
love it.
I'm in.
Craig, you're in. You're
Okay.
now a part of the podcast.
I'll find the heroin.
Okay.
So this is now, yeah. So Timothy Dalton, contractually, he was ready to do his third film, which they were going to start production on in 1991.
I read up on this film a little bit.
You read up on the film that
the
never
notes
happened.
for the third film, yeah, to take place, I believe I want to say Hong Kong.
Please
or
enlighten
something.
me.
This is all I remember. It's online. I apologize. I apologize.
Was there a different title? I assume that.
I don't know that there was a title.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a title at that point either. And Timothy Dalton was ready to do it, and it had gone so long between films that he politely said, "I'll see you guys later." And then they finally were able to bring in Mrs. Doubtfire's Pierce Brosnan.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
What was the? It was the.
Remington Steele was the
But
contract
what was
that he couldn't get out of.
the MGM snafu that kept the delay so long?
The delay in production was, again, our old friend Kevin McClory.
God, that's right. Yeah.
Responsible for, of course, Thunderball and Never Say Never Again. So that was some legal troubles they were trying to wrangling. Also because the rights to James Bond, Saltzman sold his half of the rights to United Artists. And then when United Artists got purchased by this other film company, that was a whole other thing of like, do the rights go with them? So on and so forth. So that was a big legal hubbub. Anyway, 1995.
Let's get deeper into that.
1995 rolls around. Pierce Brosnan finally ready to take over. Pierce was going to take over right after Roger Moore. Matt looks adorable, and there's a picture Katie's taking him. Hopefully she'll Instagram it.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm situating my mic so I'm comfortable.
You're just going to fall asleep.
No, that's true.
So finally we get to see Pierce Brosnan, who everybody thought should have been James Bond from the get-go. It was a very popular choice when it was announced that he would take over the role. And in 1995, he finally got his chance to. Now, this is the movie where Albert Cubby Broccoli was having some health problems. His health was waning. So this is when Mike Wilson and Barbara sort of really had control over the production.
Barbara Broccoli.
Barbara Broccoli.
Great name.
We're a big fan of hers here at the podcast. Now, so what happens here is we have this... No one's seen James Bond for 6 years, and it opens up with, I think, one of the better openings for a James Bond movie.
It's awesome.
Listen, it's pretty good.
Hey, welcome.
Here's what I'll say is what I like about this movie overall, and it just starts off that way, is that the stunt is you just see the full stunt. It's
Yeah,
like a
you're
real
right. Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
live action stunt that actually happened in some way. Maybe
Yeah.
not exactly how you see it, but it's a guy jumping off a fucking dam
Yeah.
and dropping like, I don't know how many feet, but
Yeah.
just free falling forever. It's amazing.
Yeah, free falling forever. Then the guy has to pull out the spear gun.
Yeah.
And then shoot the spear gun and then get rolled in. And I've watched the behind the scenes footage of him jumping off the thing and then missing, like not getting his cue right to get the thing, and then he has to go up. They have to bring him back up, and he's got to do it again. Awesome.
So badass.
Jumps down a dam, and then he breaks into this Russian weapons facility through a bathroom stall. Guys, doesn't get better than that.
Nothing like a big jump into a duty joke.
That's
Into-
a long way to go for a
Into a bathroom stall.
joke.
And of course, in the GoldenEye game, you're very familiar with it. I'm sure everybody. That's part of the game. Is you got to go through the bathroom stall, and you can shoot the guy on the toilet. It's really great. I recommend everybody plays the game.
Wait, what's the joke that he says when he comes out?
Don't forget to wipe.
No.
It's like, oh, I'm 007, not number 2.
No. I mean, I like the alts we're pitching.
Here's my Walter PPK.
I believe he says, just thought I'd drop in.
No, I think it's my duty to kill you.
Yes.
You're looking a
yes.
little
okay.
flush.
So James is there.
Why don't you want us to continue, man? It
'cause-
seems like you're railroading.
Because
over
I
this.
know how long we've recorded.
What a shitty situation.
And I know that we've just started talking about the movie.
We're back. 2014. It's going to be a great year, guys. It's going to be a great year. These are the best times of our
How long
lives.
have we recorded?
Another turning point of folks
that's it.
stuck in the
So, okay. This is when we meet Sean Bean, everybody's favorite English actor to die in a movie. He dies in everything he's ever done.
There's a supercut.
Yeah, there is a supercut of Sean Bean dying in movies.
This is new to me.
So,
Spoilers
no
abound.
spoiler alert, because we all know this guy's eventually going to die. But we think it's going to be right now.
Yeah.
When he gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, right. This Sean Bean, yes.
yeah, he meets up with James, and we find out he's 006 because they call each other by their call sign, which I think is adorable. And they have their little saying they say to each other. For England, James.
Oh, yeah.
For England. And then they do that. It'll come back later, guys. And of course, Alec has a nice little bit of advice where he says half of everything is luck, and the other half
is fate.
Right?
That's
I like
the whole
that.
thesis of the film.
That's
Luck
the
versus
thesis of the film, guys. That's the thesis of this film made in 1995. So we see a huge action scene here with Russians. I love that Russians, by the way, are the villains in this.
I love that. Yeah, it's 6 years after
Yeah.
the fall of the Berlin Wall,
Yeah.
and we're still going back to Russia.
Yeah, they're able to acknowledge that the
Yeah.
Cold War's over, but they're not
Yeah,
ready to
because
give
there's
up Russians. As
Yeah,
Always
it's
gonna
always
be-
like it's still like the Cold War.
Yeah.
They keep on
Yeah.
like saying that
Yeah.
pretty much.
So what happens here is they are caught because an alarm goes off, and Trevelyan is put execution style. He is shot in the head, seemingly.
Cool way to die.
Pretty cool way to die, right? Now, is he actually shot in the head, or is he already working with Oromov?
He's already working.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
What's
I
the
th-
scar come from?
The
That's not-
scar was
comes
from the explosion.
Right. Okay. I was.
My understanding was that was a fake shooting,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then
Me too.
And he's already in bed with him,
Interesting.
literally.
Literally and figuratively.
Because that
so
Russian
then,
commander is good looking.
He is a hot toddy.
And a tot hottie.
then we move on now. This
Watching
is 10
from
minutes
the
into the
shadows.
movie. We now move on to our second huge stunt. James
Oh
has
my
to get out.
God!
I like
Such a
this
good
one a
stunt.
lot.
James
I
has
like
to
this.
get out of
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
How's he going to do this? He goes outside and he realizes, oh, well, there's a plane. This is a runway. I'm going to run. Let me steal this guy's motorcycle. Now he's chasing a runway that ends with a cliff, with a sheer cliff. He is now chasing it on a motorcycle. He's chasing a plane on a motorcycle.
It does give you a bit of the Spy Who Loved Me opening sequence chills.
Yeah.
It's got
really
a nice,
great.
Yeah.
So James obviously jumps the motorcycle off of the runway and then begins free falling towards the plane. The plane's going into a dive. James gets in the plane, pulls the stick up just in time. We hear Tina Turner.
GoldenEye.
I like the little one.
But you know the thing is also again it's awesome. You really see a guy free falling near a plane. Like it's again
Yeah.
another dope
Practical effect.
dope live stunt.
Dope live stunts and models. That's what this movie is full
Oh,
of.
Derek Meddings did the miniatures for
Late
this movie.
grade.
And that is, I think, there are two things about this movie that are my favorite. And the miniatures. I love miniatures in movies.
I was saying that while we were watching it.
Even in this movie where you can tell they're miniatures, but they just look so cool.
Yeah.
So Derek Meddings did all the miniatures for a lot of the earlier Bond movies as well. Have you guys ever seen Spies Like Us?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
You know when the doctors come out of the tent when they're in, I think they're in like Afghanistan, and they're posing as doctors, and
Yeah.
the real surgeons come out. One of those surgeons is Terry Gilliam, and for some reason, one of them is Derek Meddings, the model maker for all these
Wow.
Bond movies. So when you guys
a
give
little-
that your weekly watch, just
a
take a
little fun.
listen
Little
to it.
Easter egg for
Yeah.
the
Little
Spies Like Us
Yeah.
fans.
I like that movie quite a bit.
So what do we think of the opening credits?
I don't love them.
I'm into the song. I thought the opening credits were cool. Didn't blow me away, but I liked them.
I like the story they tell.
Yeah, I like
But-
the story
but
they tell. I like the falling statues and stuff like that.
They're dated, but not in a good way for me.
There's a nice phallic gun coming out of a woman's mouth.
Yeah, the
Yeah, of course.
two-headed Giannis woman.
Now,
Wait, before we move on,
do we have an alternate?
I do have an
theme song?
alternate theme song. So this alternate theme song.
Greg, what Matt likes to do is show us songs that were recorded for the film,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
but not
Now
used.
this is by the timeless band Ace of Base. It's easy to see. Why
Oh
they
my
chose
God.
them.
Are you
easy
serious?
to see why they chose them because they would have persisted.
Please tell me it's just I Saw the Sign.
I saw the
It's really easy to a lot of bands when they didn't get their song chosen would change their titles and just re-record lyrics over it. So this is called The Juvenile instead of The GoldenEye. But why are all of these songs kid-based? That's what I'm starting to
Really
wonder.
interesting.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry. Sorry we don't have a better hookup for this, but we're doing it analog.
It's already better.
It's got snaps.
Juvenile in a time when the night is so cold.
Interesting.
Juvenile has the key to the end. Juvenile in the end, that is why we are here.
I like this.
I used to love this band.
Of course you did.
Our fall is now a friend. Why don't we do it like they used to do?
Yeah, I don't like
It
this.
loses me. It loses me here.
Yeah, that opening, really promising opening. Really starting to suck.
Today we don't care. Even about the youth, about the old, they cannot rise their voice yet. But later they will do the
Anyway, so Ace of Base is a Swedish band, and they don't have the firmest grasp on English and the idioms of English.
Yeah.
So they have songs like, "What you gonna tell your dad? It's like a wheel of fortune," and "Kiss me, baby, I'm attractive, baby." I love. Oh, what are some of the? Oh, your love is the engine, and I might be fuel. Stop acting cool. I bet you might win.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's good advice.
So easy to
that's
see
just
why they
good
were
life
chosen.
advice.
In elementary school, they were the hottest band in 4th grade, and I asked a girl to make a tape for me of I Saw the Sign, or maybe it was All That She Wants. And she recorded it from a tape player to another player without
yeah.
it, like not actually
Yeah.
recording it. It was just, you could hear her voice throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Did she like say things to you like, "Craig, this is for you. I love you, Craig"?
No, but it was under that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You feel like that.
I did have a big crush on the singer, the blonde one.
I feel like that's one of those bands that would have been a band where the people that you see aren't the actual ones singing. you know, like,
very,
Yeah.
very likely.
Yeah, that was of
well,
the era.
the two guys I think wrote all the music, and then
Yeah.
the girls just sang it.
Remember, of course, during the Full House episode where Stephanie Tanner's band plays at the Smash Club.
Yes.
They play the sign.
Yeah.
Gia's over there on bass. No, Gia plays keyboard.
I don't know,
Gia
but
plays
join us for our
G-board.
spin-off podcast, Ace of Bonding. that
Ace
we're
of
gonna
Bonding.
do.
Okay, now refresh my memory because I just watched this 2 days ago. But is the next thing that we see the Aston Martin DB5?
I believe so.
I think we
So
cut.
we have yet to. Well, I guess we have seen the villain.
We don't know.
We don't know we've seen the villain.
Well, we've seen both of them.
right.
So, yeah. I guess.
So what we come now to is what I would describe as the worst music in a movie.
I
Oh
have
my
that
God.
here in a movie, not just a Bond
yeah.
movie.
No.
Yeah, it's garage band music.
In a
It's like,
movie.
It's like the default music where you open garage band.
I was watching this. We got a new TV, and it has that sort of motion
Congratulations.
blurring. You know, that new filter that you can put
Yeah, that
Blu-rays
you've
through.
turned off, right? Because you find it
I
disturbing.
haven't. Because I still there's something about it I'm kind of interested in. But watching this movie on that setting makes it look like video, and then hearing that music, I think I'm watching a softcore porn film.
Yeah. Well, during that part of the movie, I was watching a softcore porn. So,
It
on a
is
smaller screen.
awful, that music.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and pull it up right now. For
The end
everybody
song?
here. Not the end song, which was written by the guy who scored this movie.
Yeah.
So,
that song is unbelievable. I'm going to look for
do you know what else that gentleman scored? I was like, this guy. I can't believe this guy.
34 points in an NBA game in the finals.
I can't believe this guy. I
Schindler's
don't. I
List?
can't imagine what else he scored. He
What is
scored
it?
The Fifth Element,
Oh, yeah, we
Well,
talked
that
about
makes
this, which has
sense.
awesome music.
which has awesome music, awesome synth music that makes sense.
He's probably able to do what he wants to do.
The Blue Alien scene, one of the best music scenes in a movie ever. I'm going to say it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong, but it's
he
great.
scored The Professional.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone care? No.
Luc Besson.
Yeah.
Luc Besson.
I think in his element, this stuff works, but for a Bond movie,
In his Fifth
Jesus.
Element, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in for you guys.
I'm just gonna watch some softcore porn over here while you play.
So we're gonna hear a little bit of that.
James, is it really necessary to drive quite so fast?
More often than you'd think.
Oh, God.
I enjoy a spirited ride as much as the next girl, but... Who's that?
The next girl.
So bad.
It gets worse. I can't believe this was 1995.
And it would be an otherwise like pretty cool car chase, but this music takes all the drama out of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Completely.
I can't even
So
continue.
we know, though, that the producers went back in, and there's basically the third act of the film is scored with the James Bond music, and then in that love scene on the beach, I don't know if that's Eric Serra or not, but it doesn't sound like it, and it feels like they. Well, I know that they went back in and said we have to redo some of this.
They were
And
like, let's put in a scratch track for now. We'll use some of the music from Beverly Hills Cop 2, and then we'll go back. And they forgot to.
Yeah, completely forgot to. What are you doing over there?
I'm gonna
Mac,
play
really?
the ending credit song. This is a live version. The Experience of Love. I couldn't believe it. James Bond end songs are not some of the better things. Like there's the one at end of License to Kill. Is that If You Ask Me To? You know what? I can't even do this. Let's just...
It is a terrible song if you get to the end of the movie. And it really it's an interesting choice to end this movie with a love song.
Yeah, they do this in this era. It starts with Living Daylights.
Yeah,
and then License to Kill.
Because there's no real indication that James Bond is in love with anybody by the end of this movie.
He should be, though. I have to say.
She's beautiful.
I didn't realize that I think she's one of the better Bond girls.
Ooh.
You know what? You're right, because she's never really... She knows things the men don't know. She knows how to do things the men don't know how to do.
She's a good actress.
She's a good actress. She can take care of herself. She knows how to use a weapon.
But she's still all woman.
She doesn't sleep with him until
until she's wearing a sarong.
She also shows a straight up crotch shot for like 7 seconds.
I know. She walks into frame.
They show that in every advertisement.
Every advertisement we saw of the movie, and we watched a lot. That's a shot that's in
And
it.
you know why I realized that happened is because the director, what's his name, Martin Campbell?
Yes.
His first couple movies were British sex films.
Really?
Yeah.
So he loves the crotch shots.
Hey, are you guys feeling the experience of love right now?
I can't say that I am.
Katie?
So now, okay, this is us meeting the femme fatale of the movie. Yes, right? That's what we're calling her. Famke Janssen.
Yeah, definitely. If ever
Famke
there was one.
Famke Janssen.
Okay.
Who we almost had on the Nerdist podcast.
What?
We almost had her on the Nerdist to promote something.
Oh, I thought you said
like,
almost had her on this podcast.
Oh, well, you want me to- I could try.
Try harder.
The Xenia Onatopp.
Which is great.
Which is a
Name.
great name.
Sure.
Matt, I don't feel like you're on board.
Well,
with
no,
that
I'm
name.
fine with that.
Well, what's your problem?
It's her name's so silly, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then we get some of those Pierce Brosnan hurt acting scenes again, and he's so serious.
we get this
When she crushes him and he goes,
see this is pound for pound the most Pierce Brosnan hurt acting in a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
And Xenia Onatopp likes to her method of killing is she takes pleasure in killing. So she's, I don't know what that's called. It's a disorder, right? A sexual.
It's a disorder. Yeah.
She finds pain. She finds pain, causing pain pleasurable,
But in a very sexual way, because she's literally having sex with the people when she kills them.
Yeah.
And they show it. It seems like she's crushing them with her legs, but also it could be that
I never thought of
she's
it that
using
way.
her vagina. I don't mean to get graphic here, but we don't see that.
That's
so
true.
we don't know if there's full penetration and she's somehow doing it that way.
Wow.
That could be interesting, like teeth,
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry
like,
about that later.
or just like super muscle. I don't know.
super vulva, like a super strong vulva.
Like that movie, Super Bowl.
Super vulva. I love Jonah Hill in that movie.
Super Vulva?
Super vulva.
But I do like Famke Janssen in this.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's good. I think Sean Bean's really good. I think the guy that plays Oromov is great.
I guess all the actors
great
are pretty good. in
character,
this, yeah.
Russian character actor. But okay, so here's what we see. We see her. They're in Monte Carlo, I believe.
Yeah.
James is driving his personal car, which is the Aston Martin DB5.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead.
I listened to Purvis and Wade on the Empire Skyfall spoiler podcast, and they said that it was their intention for the Aston Martin to be his personal Aston Martin that he won in Casino Royale. And that Sam Mendes came along and had the idea of tricking it out with the machine guns, and then they're like, it changed driver's seats, and we don't really know what happened there, but that they meant it to be his personal. Can we put that to rest?
No, we can't put it to rest
Why?
because it's equipped with the same gadgetry of Goldfinger. So is it in their mind that their timeline is the same? So Casino Royale comes before Goldfinger.
Yes, but they never planned
So-
for those machine guns to be in there.
They never planned for those machine guns to be there. So the machine guns are in there,
He was originally going to have a trunk full of guns.
a trunk full of guns.
Yeah.
Ooh, I could.
That was the
I know.
original working title of the film.
Trunk full of guns. Also, I'm now convinced that the people writing in have settled the mom debate. That
Right.
it is marm with an English accent.
Oh, I still disagree with them.
Wait, what's Marm calling?
Yeah, when they call M what sounds like
Mom.
mom, they're going marm.
It's mum.
It's mom.
Thank you.
Mom's the word. That's why they say mom's
Thank
the
you.
word.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you,
what that
Craig.
saying comes from. That's the
Craig
answer to
Rowan.
that.
Follow him on Twitter, everybody.
Mom's
At
the word.
Craig
Give him
Rowan.
hell.
At Mom's the word.
Give them hell.
I own at Craig Rowan, at Mom's the word, at Trunk Full of Guns.
Shadow watch you from the far.
Anytime I say a sentence, I immediately get the Twitter handle. I just got that one too.
So let's talk about the Aston Martin DB5 right now.
Okay.
He uses it
You're right.
as a gadget. It has a built-in Alpine stereo, CD, AM/FM, no cassette, fax machine. It prints out all the information that Moneypenny has for him on the boat registry and on all that jazz. And I enjoyed that. I liked seeing the Aston being a little bit updated and having that printout come out. Of course, if we're to believe Skyfall, he had the stereo removed at some point. He didn't need it anymore.
If we're to believe,
If we're to believe that it's the same vehicle,
okay,
if we're to believe Skyfall,
But Skyfall does not state that these things are going to follow. It's a new timeline begun.
I disagree.
It doesn't.
I disagree. I think of
spiritually he's going on to those things, but I don't
No.
think
I
it's
think it's
saying
the-
hardcore that he's going straight into Dr. No.
I think it's all about
No.
Newhart
I don't
Dream.
think he's going into Dr. No either.
Yeah.
I think that's the end. I think Skyfall is this is a little sidebar of James Bonding podcast where Matt Gorley and Craig, if you have any thoughts on this, please jump in.
Sure,
We're
I
gonna
don't, but I'll keep talking.
We're going to
to
discuss the floating timeline of James Bond.
Right.
But it's
Here's
intrinsically flawed.
Here's how I view it.
Yeah.
Here's how I personally view the floating wonder of the James Bond timeline. Okay. Casino Royale, first out of the gate. That's the situation. That's
Sure.
where we see him become.
The one with
James
Woody
Bond.
Allen, right?
Yes, of course. Peter Sellers is in it as well. It's a great film. People have asked us if we're going to touch on those. Maybe by the end we'll be like, yeah, let's watch them. But right now we have no plans to do
Bonus cut.
it. Yeah. So I think that Casino Royale happens. Quantum of Solace happens. Dr. No through Die Another Day happens.
Wow.
Skyfall happens. That's how I picture the timeline of
The
James
problem here is that there is no timeline because there are.
Oh, I know.
The whole
It's
thing was at
impossible.
the whim of too many directors and producers. And
Yeah.
that,
Well,
yeah.
also, I mean, when he goes to visit Tracy's grave in For Your Eyes Only, it says Tracy Bond, 1938. She was born in 1938, which obviously doesn't float with the timeline.
And then you obviously have
now.
to take into account James Bond Jr. and then it gets
It's a whole other thing.
real
yeah,
messed up.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
But my brain working theory is Casino Royale through Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Dr. No, through Die Another Day, Skyfall. That's how it goes in my head.
I feel that they intend it to be the three Daniel Craigs and then to Dr. No, just because you're getting back to a kind of.
It can't be. It can't
Why?
be.
Wait, why is it that what happens in Skyfall that makes it after everything?
Because
Remind me.
he's been through it all. He's tired at that point. He's a beaten man almost.
But that's more to do with him having been shot and fallen off a giant bridge.
I disagree.
And his age,
I
definitely.
think I think it's to do with his age. I think it's to do with his character.
But they
think-
so squarely set it up for that classic M in the quilted.
Well, they set it up
Office door.
to finally get back to the formula. And yes, you're in, Bernard
As
Lee.
filmmakers, they do,
Rest
but
in
I
peace,
think
Bernard Lee.
Yeah,
You're in Bernard Lee's office essentially.
yeah.
Like I get that, but that's just a little nod because they have to leave because they're new, because their headquarters they've been in since GoldenEye
But I believe Sam
has been
Mendes
compromised.
even
They're now back in the old. They're now back in the old headquarters.
even discusses this as an origin trilogy.
Sam Mendes discusses this as an
believe
origin.
so.
I refuse to believe it.
Well, I'm going to have to check my sources.
Because I think here's how it plays out in my head. Here's how this whole thing plays out. James Bond, Casino Royale, great. He wins the Aston Martin, great.
This is all Aston Martin based for you. This is
It is.
You're just an
it is-
Aston Martin apologist.
It is partially. So he gets the Aston Martin in Casino Royale. He wins it in a poker game. Great. I think that's a different Aston Martin. Okay.
Well, not according to the screenwriters.
Yeah, I understand that. But
Uh-huh.
those guys also fucked up a lot of other shit.
That's true. You do have a point there.
I think that's not the same Aston Martin. I think that he goes through Quantum of Solace. Then he gets a Bentley.
What?
Yeah, he gets the.
This is
it's
all
a green
car
Bentley.
fetish based.
It's a
This is-
green Bentley in the books,
Yeah.
but in the movies, it's a red Bentley. He has his red Bentley in From Russia with Love.
So you're just
Where he gets the phone
adding
call.
in plot point where he gets a Bentley so you can justify it going to From Russia with Love.
Don't worry about it. Here's how it goes.
In most theories, when you say "don't worry about it," that means it's a solid theory.
That's science.
No, so he has the Bentley, and he enjoys the Bentley. He has a great time with it.
When does he get the? What's the story with how he gets the Lotus? Just from Q?
He gets it from Q.
Does he get the Bentley from Q?
No, well the Bentley's
It's
his own personal car.
Yeah.
He gets the Aston Martin DB5 from Q as well.
Not originally.
Listen,
When
It's
did he
in
get-
the movie? He wins it in a poker match.
he wins
In the
he
Bahamas.
wins a left-hand drive. No, right. He wins a right-hand drive Aston Martin.
Look, I can't.
He wins
I
a
can't
right-hand
speak to
drive
that.
Aston Martin.
When did he get the Volvo station wagon?
Not yet.
All right, we got to get back.
Anyway,
to
back to
Sorry.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
I'm sure they enjoy it. So this movie has one of my favorite James Bond looks. Okay, and I call it nautical Bond.
Oh yeah,
This is yacht club James Bond.
Oh,
this is
it is good look.
khakis,
Yeah.
double-breasted navy blazer with
Yeah.
gold buttons,
Blue shirt.
blue shirt.
Yeah, it's good. Even for '90s, it's pretty good.
I mean, That's timeless.
Yeah.
I could show up right now at a yacht club, and they would ask me what I wanted to drink.
That's a good point that you said it's not
Because-
very 90s because every 90s movie, especially in like this sweet spot of 95, everything feels dated. This, in terms of clothing, was not too bad.
It's not, and which is surprising because
Well, I think that happens when you're in a movie where there are lots of suits. I think suits are timeless.
even when it is dated, like what Natalia's wearing, black tights and a short black skirt. I still kind of like it. You know?
Natalia's wearing that black tight, short black skirt sweater, the blue sweater.
The entire time.
That's just Silver Lake. You go to Silver Lake right now, that's what everybody's wearing.
Yeah, it's not quite the same though.
It's pretty close. She's wearing what a hipster would wear.
Yeah. I think of the hipsters as more the For Your Eyes Only Octopussy era.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So James sees the Tiger attack helicopter, which plays a big part in the video game, of course. But the Tiger helicopter is shielded against electromagnetic pulses. This comes into play handily later. James wants to pursue this lead. He wants to find out what's going on with this Tiger helicopter. This is the first time we see Dame Judi Dench.
Yes.
Who at this point...
Or as I call her, Dame Duty Stench.
Oh.
we call her Dame Judi Drenched.
Ooh. Those are all Twitter handles.
Judi Dench, who we have come to know and love as M.
And the classic opening scene with those two. Really
The classic, let's address
sexist,
the
misogynist
misogyny.
dinosaur, yeah.
But what I liked about this is that they do sort of say those things like you're chauvinist, like at the end when he's talking to Bond, he's saying you're outdated. All these things that are sort of like I feel like the filmmaker's going like, we understand this is an old thing. We're doing a little bit throwback, but it's still new. Like we're paying homage, but it feels a little bit fresh.
Yeah,
I like that.
It is interesting because they're acknowledging it, but there is one point that I got a little weirded out, and that's when Sean Bean forces Natalia to kiss him.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what it is. If he's a villain, it makes sense, right? But then Bond does the very same thing on the beach not long after, and she's like, well, okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
He's still the same exact
Yeah.
James Bond. They just sometimes will be like,
yeah, they just address
They
it.
just-
So
yeah.
is it almost worse in a way that they're willing to address it and not?
By the way, this is the time I noticed that Samantha Bond, who plays Moneypenny, is on Downton Abbey.
Yes, I know. That scene between them does not go a line without a huge pun.
Right.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Almost impressive.
It's
but mostly disgusting.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So they are now watching a satellite feed at MI6 of this. I don't even know how they end up surveilling.
the compound?
Yeah, the compound.
I'm trying to remember. I do remember that this part of the movie is slow for me. It's really kicks off strong and then picks up in the second half quite nicely, but this part dragged for me a bit.
So here we are now. We're at this facility for GoldenEye. It's the GoldenEye facility
For
GoldenEye.
Chernobyl, where we meet Alan Cumming.
Yeah, he's a bit much in this.
Alan Cumming is 1995 Alan Cumming.
Yeah.
That is like...
Yeah, that's what you're
Hey, you see what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes down.
Yeah.
And, of course, Natalia is there. And this is...
It's like the classic hackers thing. And when I
Yeah.
said that, when I watched with Matt, I said, because they're hackers, the computers look like 1995 computers. I said this looks and feels exactly like the Net and Hackers. All three I looked up came out in 1995.
Wow.
This is like the era of like hackers are in the news
Yeah.
a little bit. AOL is like starting to be cool
Because email's big. Like for the first time, people are understanding what email is in '94. So a year for a movie to be made, and they all come out in '95.
Well, what's interesting, of course, Windows 95. What's
course.
interesting is there's a lot of leet speak in this movie, a lot of computer speak, a lot of jargony speak that to the audience would probably mean nothing but to
Well, it was all bungee
Like they
cord
say,
and
like,
computers because
HTML, UCB, USB, USB,
Groundlings, iOS.
Groundlings, Annoyance Theater,
comedy,
The
sports.
Pit.
But here's a fun little Easter egg for everybody. Watch Boris's computer. On the bottom left corner of his computer, there's a little graphic of a cube that floats around that spins, and the cube has a Star Trek insignia, and then it flips to a communicator.
Oh my god!
So it's and that's a thing that I feel like I've seen that.
And then it says 666 Satan, and then it's
In the deleted scene. Yeah. So they got little touches like that, right? Like that's what that guy would have on his computer. No question about that. So GoldenEye is an electromagnetic pulse. It's a satellite that sets off a nuclear explosion in the atmosphere that then will translate to an EMP going off over a large area. So the number crunchers. M's a big number cruncher in this movie. Only time she's ever a number cruncher is this movie. Mm-hmm. She's like, they couldn't make that. They didn't have the money. They didn't have the resources or the technology to make this. And James is like, well, I think they made it. I'm gonna show you. So that's why we're watching this little area. And then they also do a nice little dig at CNN.
Yeah, sure do. They sure do. And
They
America
really
in general.
stick it to Ted Turner.
Can I say something about the little money penny exchange they have as he's coming into this area?
Yep.
Well, if you haven't watched this movie yet, when you watch it, it's one thing that they're doing these puns back and forth, but she holds eye contact with him in an extended and an intense way that made me uncomfortable. Like she's really... It's not like she's just joking. It's feeling like she's going like, I'm gonna do things to you. Like there's a
That's great acting.
Intensity there that is a little off-putting. You know,
But that's
How
what
do you-
love is. It's a little off-putting.
I suppose.
How would Ian Fleming feel about the interpretation of his characters like that?
Yeah, Moneypenny was barely in the books.
I know. So this is the get-go. So Ormoff and Onatop come in, which is weird because usually in a movie you don't see two characters with the same letter starting the last name. It's just harder to type, you know?
Yeah, because this was before you'd have screenwriting, computer programs.
Yeah.
It was mostly typewriters. It wasn't the same. It wouldn't be automatically filling in.
Good. There were still word processors back then.
There were, of course. Word perfect, of course.
Word perfect. Word didn't come till later. Word perfect.
There's word perfect.
Print shop.
There's also word perfect.
Other Claris works.
Mavis Beacon.
Sega.
2 cartridges.
Did you notice all the jewelry M has on too?
Yeah.
And she is consistently, from movie to movie, dressed like a Bond villain. I'm starting to think that there could be a conspiracy theory under this.
If you want to purchase the jacket she's wearing in this movie,
And I do.
you can do so. It's on eBay right now
What?
for $3,200.
I'll split it. I'll put in 1,600 right now, or we could go
The
down.
jacket she's
1/3
wearing
each.
I will read the listing to everybody here.
1,000 apiece.
You don't have to. I have it memorized.
Go ahead, Craig.
1,000 apiece. Katie, you in on this? No? All right, 1,000 apiece.
I
And then
really
we
feel
just
like,
share it.
Katie, I really feel like you should probably be in on this. Nice. Okay. Judi Dench M Hero Jacket, screen used from GoldenEye. $3,270 or best offer.
Oh, let's go right now. Let's
Here it
put in
is.
for $300. I'd do 100 for that.
Here it is.
Wow.
This is. I'm
wonder
going to
what
read
it
the.
smells
I'm going to
like.
read the description. I wonder what it smells like.
I bet it smells like lilacs.
I like that the picture, even though Dame Judi Dench isn't in it, it looks like she's wearing it.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I
it's
mean?
so fitted to
you know
her.
it's pointing for her.
It was a.
Yeah.
Here's the description. It was a stroke of genius to cast Dame Judi Dench as James Bond's boss in the 007 movies. She brought an entirely new level of urgency and sophistication, if not reality, to the films.
If not.
This is the hero, screen-worn Judi Dench jacket from GoldenEye, a signature Judi Dench piece, in very fine condition.
Very fine. Not
Note
excellent.
that the original silver buttons have been replaced with these gold
What?
buttons.
Bullshit.
for a
ring, ring, ring.
subsequent-
No way.
for a
no,
s-
thank you.
Nope.
for a subsequent production by costumers. The jacket was used heavily featured in advertising, merchandising, and all kinds of promotional things, as it was
Oh,
Judi Dench's
really getting vague. All kinds of promotional things.
first appearance as M, and it was the first time ever M, a woman, was cast as M. Don't miss out on the memorabilia, a great piece of 007 memorabilia. This is only the second Judi Dench piece we have ever come across. And we sold her gray Casino Royale costume at auction for over $7,000.
Yeah, because they didn't take the buttons off and desecrate a piece of art.
You don't buy something like that for the storied past. You buy it for the buttons.
Or you buy it for the promotional things that it was in.
That's true.
I wonder who else squeezed into that. Like, who else?
No, I think Dame Judi Dench was in a bunch of Pepsi commercials
Oh,
that used
yeah.
that jacket.
It is interesting. Guys, I'm not saying it's a bad purchase, but I'm saying I wouldn't do it.
What else is on eBay from Bond movies?
I went through a lot of it the other
Well,
night.
give me some of the highlights.
The Romeo and Julieta cigar casing from The World Is Not Enough that he gives to Moneypenny.
Was that $500, something like that?
That was $500. Yeah.
Boo.
But $500, and it was supposedly the hero prop.
Really?
Give me the cigar and maybe we'll talk.
Yeah.
With still some saliva on it.
The other things, what else was there? A couple of Brioni jackets from Pierce Brosnan.
Oh.
This was interesting. We looked. Somebody was trying to get for the GoldenEye
Right.
N64 video game in wrap in unopened.
A graded sealed copy of it.
What were they asking for? 1,000? Something
No,
like.
it was like $2,900.
Holy shit.
For which is like that was mass produced. That was one of the most
Yeah.
popular video
Yeah.
games. Of course, there are other ones, but I did buy it.
Seriously?
No,
Oh,
no.
Jesus.
So-
that'd be.
Oh.
I'd.
Well, it's
I
okay.
would
I just bid on that
seriously
M
rethink
jacket.
Here's
everything
a
in my life.
$15,000. Here's a $15,000 jacket.
Don't tell me more. I want to buy it right now, just off the price.
Is it Tanner's Hawaiian shirt?
For the man that has almost everything in his life
What's his name? Wade.
and demands the absolute best, this is extremely rare and absolutely authentic Brioni for James Bond tuxedo. Only 2 were made per size worldwide. So what this is
It's just a limited edition?
just a limited edition. And
What
it's
size is it?
$15,000.
What size is it?
Description? I will tell you right now. It is a 47-inch bust, 19.27-inch. So what is that, like a 46 regular?
It's for a big man.
The pants measure 38. Yeah, that's my size.
There you go, Matt.
This is my size. Guys, can I borrow $15,000?
Borrow it, you can have it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
We're getting way off track here.
How do you mean?
Let's go back to this is the
Let's
this is the big scene with the models.
go to Live in Today Lights.
This is the scene with the models. This is the big
Oh
model
yeah,
scene.
this is so good.
Some MIGs are coming in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Derek Meddings, you belong to the city.
So Oromov and Onatop are there, killing everybody
Same
involved.
letter, first letter of the last name.
Crazy stuff's happening.
Word perfect 7.
He's there to launch the GoldenEye. He does so. Then they're there. We got to take off. We got to head out of here. We got the Tiger helicopter, which is how we're going to get away. No harm, no foul. And they have the other GoldenEye key. There's one more satellite. I'm sorry, I'm yawning, everybody. I've been working for 90 hours. There's one more satellite, so they have one more chance of doing an EMP. Natalia hides, lone survivor of this place, or so we think.
Or so we think.
Or so we think.
Right.
So
Pretty
now
pretty
James-
cool shot of her running away
Pretty
in slow
great
motion.
shot.
Yeah. She's really good.
3 times in this movie, she jumps in slow motion away from an explosion.
I think she's overlooked as one of the better Bond girls.
She's great.
Do we
You don't hear much about her.
Do we see anybody else die in that whole thing?
A lot of the people, right? They get gunned.
Yeah.
Oh right. We see
Yeah.
people get gunned down.
Yeah. Oh,
And she emotionally covers the bodies. Nice little bit of business there.
Oh yeah, and when she's up in she hides up in like a air duct.
yeah.
No,
And-
you think she's in the air duct. She was in the cabinet.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
But on a top, holds up a gun, shoots the ceiling, and she's like getting off on. it.
Oh yeah. She's
like
yeah.
full on.
That's her move.
She is just
She likes to kill.
into it.
When she masturbates at home, she just shoots guns
That's what I would do.
at home.
Oh, that's what I do at home, actually.
That's what. No, I just had to clarify.
So,
That's the only place you can do it.
guys,
What?
here's what happens next. James is now finally able to go do what he needs to do. Who's doing this? It's not the Russians. They don't think it's the Russians.
I like the way you're narrating this one.
They
Like
think
it's
it's
a
the
mystery.
Giannis Syndicate.
Yeah.
Right.
Giannis Crime Syndicate. So, where do they go? I think they go to... Where are they? Prague?
I like how you said. So
To
where do they
see-
go?
see-
And then he did.
Where are they?
Tchaikovsky?
Yeah, to see Valentin and Zerkovsky.
Aren't they just in straight up Russia? No.
Probably.
I think they're in Russia.
But this is where we meet Joe Don Baker.
Oh yeah.
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Wade.
Yeah. But Mitchell. From the Mitchell movies.
From Mitchell.
What?
Joe Don Baker was in a series of terrible movies.
That made famous, if
Made
not already
famous.
before famous, by Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not aware of those.
I highly recommend watching the Mitchell Mystery Science.
Oh, when he's younger?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm thinking like at the same time. Okay.
No, that'd be weird.
Well, yeah.
It'd be really weird.
I'm not a fan of this character. I'm sorry.
It is a little bit much. It's like
It's an
he's the
American stereotype.
yeah, he's the American. He's the sort of dumb American, or not
Yeah.
dumb, but like cowboy. He's supposed to be like cowboyish.
Also, did I miss something? Because why is he, as soon as they get to Havana, he goes, banyan trees. And then at the end, tobacco bushes. What
I
is
think
he
he's
doing?
the
He
character is
wants
supposed to be
have
real.
cigars.
He's supposed to have really good sense of smell. That's the whole character. It's sort of that's what
I did
when
miss
you're an
that
actor, you make a choice.
I did miss
and
that.
his choice was I have a good sense of smell.
Why not just put Felix Leiter in this movie? Why is this new character here?
That's an excellent question, and I don't really have an answer for why they didn't do that. I wish they had. I really wish they had.
There must be a reason, and that.
Maybe it's a legality thing.
But he's in the Dalton ones.
Oh, maybe that's why they didn't want to put him in it. Because doesn't he lose his... He gets fucked up real bad in License to Kill.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, they don't.
And they're like, well, let's not bring him back right now.
Yeah, he wouldn't probably be in Russia with
Right.
half a leg.
Right. So this is where we meet Robbie Coltrane for the first of two times.
And Minnie Driver.
And Minnie Driver, of course, singing Stand By Your Man.
Odd.
Great. It's great. I really love this character. I love Valentin Tsarkovsky.
I do too. I like him too.
Fun character.
Fun character, fun situation. He knows what kind of gun James Bond is using just from the sound.
They have witty repartee between themselves,
Yeah.
which is always good with the sort of bad guy-ish
Sure.
bad guy. That they've got a familiarity.
Walter PPK 7.65 millimeter. There are 3 men I know who carry this gun. I have killed 2 of them. It's a great line. It's a great line.
It's a good line.
James. Oh, okay. Here's one of my next favorite, most dated scenes in all of the James Bond movies. Natalia needs to access the internet,
So she goes to
so
an
she
internet.
needs to go buy a computer.
Yeah.
And she orders. She pretend orders, and thusly makes me feel bad for the salesperson. 24 computers for the American school.
One for every hour in a day.
IBM compatible. CD-ROM drive. 500 meg hard drives. 14.4 modems.
500 meg.
Doesn't
500
that take
meg.
it back? Doesn't that take it back
Yeah.
a little bit?
And I was saying to Craig, I was like, all of the processing power and all of the hard drive space, my phone is more than double of it.
Wow.
It's insane.
And that was Steve Jobs' dream. And we're living in his America and his world.
That's Moore's Law, man.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So she gets on the internet. She contacts Boris. Boris is online. Boris is like, don't trust anybody. Meet me in this church. Boris was right. Don't trust anybody.
And at this point, Yakov Smirnov, or whatever the main bad guy is, he doesn't know that she's still alive because he's met with the other Russian.
Demetrius, the Russian defense minister.
Yeah.
Right, and they're the ones that say there's a survivor, and he only knows about Boris Karloff.
Yeah, Boris Karloff is the lone survivor. So this now, he goes to Sarkovsky. Bond goes to Sarkovsky to set up a meeting with this Giannis syndicate because he wants to find out what's happening to the GoldenEye. He gets taken there. He knocks out Famke Johnson. We've skipped over the pool and sauna sex, unless you guys would like to say anything about it.
Just hot and steamy, like
Yeah.
a sauna should be.
Yeah. A lot of hurt acting.
He says no more foreplay,
Yeah.
which is kind of great.
I mean, he basically, it's always weird to see like him like hitting a woman against a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a little bit strange.
And
Punching and, you know, like, I guess if I was in that situation, I was getting sex killed by a woman, I'd have to do that.
Yeah. You'd have
I
to.
wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't put myself in that situation.
You'd have to throw her ass on hot coals.
He threw her ass.
It's
on
sex
hot
live
coals.
or sex die. You know?
Live or let sex die.
Yeah.
That's the title for the next Sam Mendes
Sex
movie.
Die Another Day.
Sex Die, Another Life, GoldenEye.
Matt is sitting behind a big office desk, and the two of us are on a comfy couch facing him. And
It's
it
like
feels
we're getting fired.
or either that, or we're getting mission briefed.
I feel like I'm
or
letting
something.
you guys know that we can't.
We got to turn in our piece and
We're not going to be
shield.
able to bring you back.
Oh hell!
This is your last episode.
was a good time.
Of James Bonding.
Ugh.
We're actually tired of doing it.
Matt, Myra, you bite your tongue. I'm about to get re-energized because next week we start the Roger Moores, and you're going to see a whole new me. The Brosnans have been tough.
Yeah, you've
I'll
been
be-
struggling to get through these.
I'm telling you, it is a struggle for me. Man, we're coming back with Live and Let Die.
Well, let's talk about the fact that Martin Campbell directed this movie. Martin Campbell, of course, directed our favorite James Bond movie, Casino Royale.
Sure did.
Is that your all-time favorite?
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I find that movie to be
I really liked it.
flawless.
Yeah.
I mean,
as far
I-
as James Bond movie.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch some of the old ones but I really like that movie.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
I would say Casino Royale, followed by, for me, From Russia with Love. Those are my top
And then Moonraker.
two. Well,
You're not
Moonraker's
too far.
pretty enjoyable.
Let's just put it this way: we're coming into a happy time.
I believe he and I are both on record as saying our favorite person to watch be James Bond is Roger Moore.
Wow.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah.
In many ways, yeah.
So anyway,
Flying to England and then Scotland on British Airways, they have every Bond movie on demand.
that's
So I
great.
didn't know that, and I sat down for a 10.5-hour flight. I look on the little personal screen. What did I choose?
The first thing you watched, Live and Let Die.
No. What do you think?
I'm going to say
We haven't done it yet.
you haven't. Now I'm trying to figure out because you're going back. I don't know.
It's all right.
Octopussy.
A View to a Kill.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I should have known that. I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I love it.
We'll get to
I
it.
just
we'll
love
get
it.
to it. That's That's gonna be our big live one.
Yeah.
Now, why isn't it just called A View to Kill?
The iambic
View to-
pentameter of the Duran Duran song
Yeah.
is a view to a kill.
No.
I just like A View to Kill.
No,
You
but
want-
it's a view to a kill. You're seeing.
No, you want
Yeah.
to kill
You're
that
seeing
view.
a
I
kill.
can't
You wanna
remember what the
kill that
context
view.
of that is in the books. It's the short stories.
Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. But back to this GoldenEye movie that
Which-
we're having so much trouble getting through. It's a long movie. It's a 2-hour and
Let's see. The second the movie ended, I guessed that it was 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah.
I was 3 minutes off.
What is it?
2:10.
2:10.
Is
Way
it?
too long.
Wow.
They could
I
have
watched
cut,
it in 2 parts.
They
Yeah.
could have cut at least half an hour out.
Yeah.
Well, let's
That's usually
let's
the
sort of
case.
take the broader strokes at this. We don't have to go through the whole thing bit by bit. Let's take some broader strokes.
Well, it starts to really pick up for me here. And
Okay.
and that tank chase
The tank chase
is fantastic.
let's first of all let's talk about the fact that the reveal is, oh my God, it's Alec.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
Alec
Alec
Guinness.
It's 006, who is turned against the Empire.
And his face is scorched because when James Bond escapes in that first scene, he has a timed mine and
Right,
it changes
that's right,
from
and he's
6
bitter
minutes
about
to
that.
3 minutes.
That's right, yeah.
And his face got
Yeah.
burned.
Same 6 minutes you gave me. And then James goes, "We have 3 minutes." Pretty great, right?
Yeah. Why are you
Sean
guys
Bean,
looking
I
at
think,
me?
is very
What are
good
you-
in this movie.
Yeah, he's all right.
I think he's very good. I think he's very good with the dialogue that he had
All right, he's
and
good.
what he had to do.
He didn't have a lot. I mean, he
didn't have a lot
doesn't
to
know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That Cossack stuff is a bit
Yeah, the Cossack stuff is.
like what? Wait,
Listen, it's
wait,
not England's finest hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. They
Yeah,
sort of like
it's a
you're
bit
talking
of
about
a
like Ukrainian
11th hour.
Cossacks, and you're just like, real? Okay, what? So now I have to recalibrate my brain and think
Yeah,
about
it's
like the
it's
history of
an 11th hour character motivation that doesn't exactly
Yeah.
fit.
But we do hear again. Your parents died in a climbing accident.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and were murdered by the British government.
Keeping it consistent.
Oh no, his father killed his mother and then himself out of shame or something. I don't know.
To each his own.
To each his or her own. Okay. We're in Russia. How you gonna make a cool car chase in Russia?
You're not going to use a car.
That's right.
Here's what you're going to do, my friend.
What's that?
I want to see you drive behind the wheel
Yeah.
of this probably American Abrams tank dressed up to look like a Russian tank.
I'm on board.
Good, let's do it.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
It's a long scene. It's a long chase. It's got everything you want it to have. He uses the giant artillery cannon on the front of it. He runs over cars.
It's just
He
cool
drives-
how quick it is. Like it skids. Yeah.
He
that's
drives
pretty fun.
through walls. It has a statue on top of it at some
He
point.
fixes his tie, which then makes me think in the world is not enough. You shouldn't pull that one again, or at least do it another time and make it your deal.
Yeah. Right?
Right.
Well, I mean,
Maybe he was planning it in the movie.
I think one of our mutual favorite moments in Skyfall is
The cuffs.
him fixing his cuffs.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at improvising driving vehicles that most people don't know.
I know.
The airplane and, the tank.
And my understanding is, can one person really drive a tank? I don't know.
Can one person really drive? I think so.
Yeah, I don't know if you can drive and fire.
Yeah, that I don't think you can. But this movie and Rambo 3, you sure can.
Good news, everybody.
Yeah.
I am the proud owner
Of M's jacket.
Dame Judi Dench.
of some sweet, sweet Skyfall shoes.
Oh boy.
GoldenEye.
Your feet will love you.
Okay. $395. Great deal. Handmade shoes from England.
Oh, they're
11 and a
handmade.
half. 11 and a half. Medium width. I'm going to be good.
Wow.
Nice, dude.
Thanks, guys.
When will we see those? How long are those going to take to get here?
Well, they'll probably be here by next week.
Really?
Instagram
I'm
them.
going to wear them.
If you don't wear those to the next podcast recording,
It's on.
You need to wear all your James Bond gear.
yeah.
Your sunglasses.
I'll wear this Tom Ford sunglasses.
What if
I'll
I
do
show
it.
up in M's jacket?
And you found all the original buttons.
Oh God!
Track them all down.
I don't see him for months. He's been tracking each button individually down.
I've been to every
Landfills. He's looking
country.
through landfills. He's been everywhere. He's found the buttons.
Oh God, that'd be great.
If you could set the Guinness Book of World Records for most money spent on a jacket on that and finding the original buttons, I would.
oh,
that would be
great.
amazing.
The Shankara stones.
Okay, so I mean the tank scene's great. They try to top it in Tomorrow Never Dies, but they go a little overboard with the BMW chase.
Oh God.
Now, I think now it goes to Cuba, right?
Cuba.
Someone please
Cuba.
figure this out for
I
me.
think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, because they trace it. They trace Boris, right?
They trace Boris. Yeah,
Wait, isn't there the train thing? Aren't
she
they on
traces Boris
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
there's
train.
The train. Yeah.
From the Russian train that they
Which
used
is
to use.
also in the game. This is another flashback I haven't thought of in years. That's a level that you go through the train. That's where Sean Bean kisses her. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Well, that's where the general gets killed, and I feel like he has a bit of an unceremonious death. I think like he was a good character, a good actor.
He's the bad guy. Like
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Bean. That's the problem here.
He's
Is that
the-
like
effectively the bad guy.
you
yeah.
learn too much about him too late, as you said, and like he sort of takes over, but you don't really care. I mean, like
Yeah, you want this guy to have more of a comeuppance, you know?
yeah. I mean, I think.
He's very funny in that tank chase when he keeps drinking out of his flask.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's great.
Russians that are drinking is a fun stereotype.
It's
Sure
a
is.
fun stereotype.
This movie's full of fun stereotypes.
Yeah.
I guess all James Bond movies are full of fun stereotypes,
Yeah,
right?
they're built on it.
So Cuba.
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 Please.
They have to go to Cuba.
Brosnan goes to Cuba twice.
That's true. He does go to Cuba twice. Wade gets him out there. Wade helps him out a little bit.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade helps him out. They're driving the BMW around. We didn't even talk about the Q scene.
Great Q scene.
We didn't even talk about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And we need to talk about that. That's the last.
Is he reading
that's
his
the
lines?
last. That's the last true for me. That's the last true Q scene
Because you got
because it's just Desmond
Yeah.
Llewellyn and it's in the lab, whereas in Tomorrow
Yeah.
Never Dies it's in the field And in World's Not Enough, it's in Scotland with John Cleese already
And it's
there.
a weird goodbye scene.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced Q is reading off cue cards.
He absolutely is reading off of cue
cards.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Q is reading off cue cards. But let's talk about this. This is a scene. Craig and I were talking about how ridiculous it is, but also how much we enjoy it.
It's really fun, and I feel like that's what you sort of miss in the new ones. And I like the Daniel Craig stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't have that humor. Some of the jokes in this are a little like the guy in the telephone booth. Then it's like an airbag blows up.
Right.
It's a little cheesy,
Yeah.
but overall, you're just having a good time.
Sure, yeah,
And
sure.
I feel like when you're a kid watching these movies, it's 1995. You're in 5th grade. You make the A team in basketball. And that's what draws you to the movie. It's not just the action; it's the humor.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't deserve to be on the A team. Zach Chima should have made it, but
Man.
you got on
That's
there.
right.
And
He
you tried
later
to do
died
your
of
best.
lupus, right? Or do I have that wrong?
What's that?
Did he later die of lupus?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I hope to God.
Zach Chima, I hope you're out there.
And
Dying of lupus.
He was better. He was better than me in basketball, but I made the A team. But here's the thing: is the humor, the action is good, but you like the humor, you like the jokes, you like
Sure,
the puns.
sure.
And I feel like now, the movies are great, but I feel like it lost a little bit of that. And that's why I like again GoldenEye. It feels like a throwback to the jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you love about James Bond.
I like it. I like the Q scene. I like the lab. I like the lab technicians in the background. I like shit going wrong. I like the jokiness. I like the don't touch that. That's my lunch.
Maybe I can finally crystallize my distaste for the Brosnan movies this way.
Go.
I think I do enjoy the more Roger Moore side of the Brosnan movies, like the Q scenes, him straightening his tie. And I've said this before, obviously I have a problem with some of the tone shifts that it gets too serious. That's when I don't like it. If it would all stay to that side, I think I'd enjoy these movies quite a bit. But it doesn't.
If
And
it
I don't
would all
want the
stay with
Daniel
the
Craig to
whimsy.
shift too much to the comic side because that will feel weird too.
No, I agree. I don't think he could pull it off. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing it right for them, but
Yeah.
it's just something that you miss.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
You miss
same. It's the Batman debacle. It's the Batman argument, which is there's the gritty Christopher Nolan Batman universe, and there's the Daniel Craig James Bond universe. But the other side of that is
Roger Moore, Adam
there's
West.
this Roger Moore, Adam West,
Yeah.
Val Kilmer sort of Batman era, and then
George
there's the
Clooney.
Sean Connery
Yeah.
era. Which would be, in my mind, the Michael Keaton era of Batman.
Yeah, I
you know what I
suppose
mean?
so,
It's
yeah.
got a little bit of both, a decent mix of it, and not too far in either direction. And that's where you sort of land. But with Roger Moore, you know what you're getting. Well, I mean, initially you don't. Honestly, initially he's not. He sort of finds his footing after I think The Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah, but even from the beginning, they're shooting for that kind of
Yeah.
campier side of things.
He's great. Roger Moore is
Oh yeah,
so good. We're pretty excited. Next
yeah,
week,
it's gonna get real good.
Live and Let Die. Next week.
If you've had difficulty getting through this period like I have, and if that has been because of my attitude, I just urge you to hold on to the next episode when we get to Live and Let Die, and everybody's gonna just have a great time, and we're all gonna be friends again.
Let's talk about the pen, the exploding pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a gadget. It's one of those gadgets that very specifically for that specific
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
We know it's going to get him out
You
of
know,
something.
the second you see it, this
Yeah.
is going to be the. Actually, you know, the second you see the trailer where it shows every part of the movie.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't feel as reverse engineered as the Avalanche jacket or the
Oh,
Avalon.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
but this one, you see the pen, and you know this is going to play a role in the
Yeah.
end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know.
And it does. So we go to Cuba. 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 We're in Cuba. BMW is there for some reason. Somehow that got there.
For product placement.
Well, actually,
also,
no, they're not.
hitting the
They're not in
Perrier
Cuba at that
truck
point.
in
They're not in
Russia.
Cuba at that point. They're in Barbados, right?
Whatever.
They're close. They're close to Cuba. And they
Why
have
are
to
they
fly
hitting
in.
a Perrier truck in Russia? The tank too.
Well,
of empty
why
Perrier
wouldn't you
cans?
want to hit an empty bottle carrying
All right.
van?
That scene in Barbados, that's when the movie really slowed down for me, where it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
crotch shot. You do get
Well,
a
that's
full-on
the movie where,
crotch
like,
shot.
We
But
know what's happening. The plan is for him to launch GoldenEye over London, to wipe out all the bank records after he's stolen all the money, and to send their economy into a tizzy, which is silly. It's a dumb plan. It's a dumb plan for a number of reasons, because if you wipe out the economy, the money you just stole is worthless.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, unless your only plan is really just pure chaos.
What
I'd
Bond
invested-
movie has a good plot?
Yeah, that's
Casino Royale? Is that the only one? That's not just absolutely ridiculous.
That has a reasonable...
Because even
Not
Her
just a
Majesty's Secret
MacGuffin.
Service makes scene following sense, but it's still a little ridiculous that he's going to hypnotize all these women.
Yeah, and become sleeper
I
agents.
mean, God, From Russia with Love. That
Russia with Love's
that
good.
makes
yeah.
sense, yeah.
It's a good plot.
They're all just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, Live and Let Die...
That's part of why you love them.
Live and Let Die is
But then it like maybe has supernatural elements.
yeah.
Living Daylights. That one's all right, huh?
Well, we'll figure this out at the end when we do our final recap.
License to Kill's all right.
Okay, so they're in a rush. They know what's happening. They know the plan. They know the GoldenEye satellite's going to be launched. They have to wait for the 6 o'clock window for them to fly in undetected. You know, FAA is aware of it. Everybody's aware of it. They're going to fly in. There still seems to be no sense of urgency.
You're right.
It just slows down. 4.5 second shot of Isabella's crotch.
Yeah.
Natalia. Like, the framing is so odd.
Well, it's also like you could just have them step off a plane and it's obvious they've had sex. You know what I mean? Like, why not just cut to like the next thing and we know they've had sex?
It's starting to make me think because there's an odd crotch shot in Quantum of Solace that maybe there's a distinct through line of blue terry cloth and weird crotch shots in James Bond movies.
Maybe there is.
We're starting to put together.
Maybe that's the timeline. Maybe it's not the
Whoa.
cars. It's the crotch.
I bet you the Illuminati's involved in this.
Oh, obviously. Also the lizard people.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, the lizard people, it's everybody. George
Yeah.
W. Bush.
He knows. George W. Bush is a lizard person.
We're in a round room and it's feeling like we're in a temple.
We're in the Oval Office, gentlemen.
Yeah. It does feel like we're in new MI6 here in the underground tunnel.
Thank you.
It's all brick.
Okay, so the movie slows down for no real reason. They go to Cuba to break into this to find this satellite dish.
Satellite.
Satellite dish. To find the satellite dish in Cuba. To find out where GoldenEye is going to be launched.
Ladies' room.
So then we see this giant, it's the Costa Rican dish, essentially. It's the giant set, one of those SETI dishes. One of these giant communication dishes that just tries to go into space. That's the real location. It's a giant dish.
It's like picture a dish and then it's like giant.
Yeah.
It's a giant satellite dish that's
Yeah.
in the ground. This whole situation, the dish, the way the dish appears, the interior of this facility looks just like You Only Live Twice.
Yeah. I thought of it.
Yeah.
I was definitely reminded.
It's like the
of it.
volcano lair.
Yeah.
Except this has actual water, not painted water.
That's true. Miniature water.
Miniature water.
How did they do
Water
that?
is impossible to miniaturize, by
I
the way.
know. You got to do everything.
Sand.
Salt.
Is that what they use? Salt?
You mean for like waterfalls and stuff?
Yeah.
But check out when we get to The Spy Who Loved Me. That tanker at the beginning is a miniature. And the water, it's so big, the miniature itself, that the water almost looks real. They built it like, it's amazing if
And
you
if
look at behind the
next
scenes
time you watch
pictures.
Ghostbusters, next time you pop in Ghostbusters, when Stay Puft Marshmallow Man destroys the fire hydrant, that's just sand getting shot up out of
Phantom
there.
Menace has miniatures in it. You'd think it's all CG, but I'll tell you what, friends listening to this right now, not the truth. They're using salt for waterfalls.
Yeah, watch. Check out. Yeah, see. Yeah,
Check out TLC's most popular video, Waterfalls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or watch the VH1 movie where they dramatize the life of TLC, T-Boz, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Chili.
Late great.
Yeah.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Watch The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Some of those
Watch
are miniatures.
Fantastic Four, the first movie.
Some of
Rise of the Sun.
those are miniatures.
Yeah.
Watch The Nightmare Before Christmas.
The Nightmare Before Christ.
Miracle on 34th Street.
The Nightmare Before Christ, Mouse.
Oh, Ian, how are you?
Well, I'll take one small interlude.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to have you back on our podcast. On
Don't
James
you know
Bond.
I say a tally-ho and what and all that? I'm very feeble, don't you know?
Yes, I understand. You've been dead for many years.
I've rotted away, but the blue terry cloth jumper I've been buried in hasn't. You see, it's part polyester and has withstood the sands of time.
Now, Ian, I just have you seen Pierce Brosnan's James Bond movies?
Absolutely, my old boy.
What do you think of them personally?
Rubbish. I'm with Matt Gorley.
Oh, you're always with Matt Gorley.
Wise beyond his years, roguishly handsome. You know?
Anything else you have to say about Matt?
Well, he's a bit of a wit at parties. Chock to the brim with whimsy. That is all.
Have you seen the new gadget called the iPhone?
No.
Here.
What? It's a movie theater on a small chocolate bar.
Ian Fleming reacts to the iPhone. Now, what do you think about that? Do you think James would have a good time in the field with that?
You know, I was never much into the gadgets. I didn't write them into my novels.
Yep.
And I never intended for them to be on the screen.
Well, you do. You're very specific about things that you write about. For
Aren't
instance,
I?
you're very, very specific about the Walther PPK.
He used a Beretta, don't you know, in
Yes.
the original novels?
Yes. And then you changed it because of a fan letter.
From Geoffrey Boothroyd.
Joffrey Boothroyd
Wrote me about the difference between a Walther PPK and a stout leather and a chamois leather holster. You see?
sham leather you don't want.
Well, you know, at first I was put off by his literary and critical advances, but then I saw that he took a comb to part his mustache down the middle. And I thought any man who's going to take the care to do that to his facial hairs must have something going on. And so I'm glad I did. And from this day forward, I part every hair on my body straight down the middle.
Are you aware, Ian, that the BBC has...
Oh, dreadfully aware.
Yes, they've released or they're releasing a...
I think the chap that's playing me is rather swarthy.
Oh, so you're a fan?
Well, I don't know. He's straight-haired. I'm curlied, graying at the temples, very distinguished. I smoke with a cigarette holder, and I have the clearest blue eyes like a pool in Barbados. You see.
Yes, of course. So it's something you would want, the actor.
Yes, I have to go now.
Oh, well, thank you for stopping by. Ian.
Goodbye.
Matt's going to be really bummed out he missed you again.
That was frightening.
It was, well, I mean,
like
sometimes, occasionally, Craig, I should have warned you. Ian Fleming stops by the podcast.
Guys,
That
what
was-
did I miss? I had to go to the bathroom
Well,
so bad.
you're not going to believe this.
A rotting corpse of a dead man.
Yeah, you missed
Ian Fleming?
Ian
was here?
Fleming, who I
Oh my
think was
God.
cremated. You missed him. He was just here.
I miss him every time.
But I will say this: he thinks quite highly of you, Matt Gorley.
Does he?
Yeah,
I didn't even know he knew me.
yeah. No, he apparently listens.
Does
He's
he?
a fan,
Really?
and he's also observed you at parties.
Oh my God.
It's pretty interesting, right?
Wow. That's really something. Anyway, let me just take off these glasses. Oh man.
Oh,
No, no.
Oh, all right. So let's talk about the conclusion of GoldenEye.
Okay.
All takes place inside this evil lair.
Yeah.
And the satellite dish.
in the
They
satellite
managed to
dish.
work in an evil lair in an organic way that you believe it in a modern world.
Yeah.
But who are all these people working for him?
Again, probably just children of
Watching
murdered
from the
Russians. Of murdered Russians.
I guess that is a bit of a thing you got to take for granted, or willing suspension of disbelief that people can just amass an army and that.
Yeah, I mean, since the dawn of time, people have been able to amass an army.
Yeah.
Dawn of time, Beauty and the Beast.
Tale as old as time.
Oh, Ian.
Song as old as rhyme. Something about a lyric, beauty and
I
the
can't.
beyond.
Matt left the
I
second
know
he
it's
started
insane.
singing.
He's not even going to believe it. Like, he's first of all, his question is going to be, how is Ian Fleming aware of the Beauty and the Beast theme song?
What would I do to be where you are?
I do think
Fish are
He knows more than
required for
most grown
singing,
men that I know.
dancing,
he's
walking
now,
around
he's
on
now
those.
singing
What do you
part
call
of your
them?
world from Little Mermaid.
Oh, feet. Up where they run, up where they sun, up where they have lyrics up in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of you. I have to go. Hey guys, what I missed?
Oh my God!
I just passed someone when the lights went out there for a second. There was this freak
Ian
blackout.
Fleming was here again.
Come on, he's
He
dead.
was singing Disney hits.
2 different Disney songs.
Oh, this is ridiculous. On with the podcast.
You're really. I mean, you just don't. Whatever urge you have to leave, don't do it.
Okay.
Just don't do it.
I'll have to pee right now.
You don't. No, don't.
Okay, I won't go.
Just don't go. Otherwise,
well, there's
you'll miss
nobody here.
it. All right.
Well, let's go on.
Okay. Let's figure out what we like and didn't like about the end of this movie. Alan Cumming gets very angry.
Yeah.
About the fact that he cannot.
Invincible.
He is invincible. That he cannot crack Natalia's code. Natalia very smartly encrypts.
Love it.
She encrypts the computer.
When's the last time a Bond girl really
Encrypts it in computer.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
When is the last
I
time?
mean, she's pivotal in saving the day in this one.
She's great. She's great so much.
And Alan Cummings almost punches her in the face. And he's stopped by what's his name?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
He's about to punch what's her name, and then what's his name stops him.
I am so lost with what scene you're talking about.
Boris is about to punch her because she encrypted and he can't break the encryption.
Yeah, but then Sean Bean stops her.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean stops him.
That's right, yeah.
That's right.
Because even he has some standards.
Yes.
After kiss raping her.
There's one rule in all the James Bond movies. The only person that can hit a woman is James Bond.
Yeah, and never let them see you bleed.
Or another woman.
And always have an exit plan. And,
Oh, of course. The words that Q instilled to us
Yeah.
over many years.
Yeah.
Which we only find out about the one time he says that when he leaves. I've always tried to teach you 2 things.
Right now. I've always tried to teach you 2 things right now.
So, she also is handed a gun in this, and she knows how to use it, which I enjoy very thoroughly. Because sometimes, what we see a lot in the James Bond movies is just girls that they don't know how to handle a gun, and James rolls his eyes, that kind of a situation. So, Sean Bean gets the satellite to go, but Natalia encrypts it. She's very smart. She encrypts the computer. Boris can't break it. Boris is feverishly trying to break it. Then he gets mad and is going to hit her. Sean Bean stops her. But then he has a pen.
Oh, my God.
He has a pen, and he is clicking that pen.
See, how did he get the pen?
Oh, it was taken out. All of the stuff was taken out. So James's Omega C Master was out.
His Omega G Master, his Omega P Master, his Omega D Master,
Walter PPK.
his Walter CC
All the
Bay.
stuff that he had, he was searched, and it was all sitting there. And the pen was right there, and Boris just picked up the pen and started playing with it.
And guess what? That pen wasn't just a pen. That's the
Wait,
pen.
what?
Yeah, no.
Pen was more than a pen.
That was the pen. Now remember the beginning of the movie when Q
Yeah.
gave him the exploding pen?
I do remember that, but
That's-
I don't think that this has anything to do with that, does it?
No, but guess what? The pen that he ends up holding is that pen.
Oh, my Christ.
Craig.
So when he is clicking the pen, what I like about this is Alan Cummings is clicking the pen, and Pierce Brosnan is constantly doing math in his
know,
head, but
yeah.
you can't follow it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure somebody has watched it being like, I'm going to count the numbers of
What if
clicks.
he was great if he got it wrong and did that whole thing like, duck, and then
They're like, what?
nothing happened?
Yeah, because it's like 3 clicks, then 2 clicks or something stops it.
But one click wouldn't stop it.
No.
Sean Bean and James, after the explosion is set off, shit goes down. They gotta escape. James grabs the gun. They are running out there. Sean Bean and James Bond are gonna have it out on top of a very tall satellite dish.
Picture the end of Cable Guy.
Picture the end of Cable Guy. Change nothing.
It's pretty much the same.
Change nothing. But make it daylight.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the difference.
And instead of Jim Carrey, it's Sean Penn as Sean Bean.
Let's talk about this. That fight scene in that little room. between Sean Bean and Pierce Brosnan. I enjoyed it very much. What did you
Yeah,
think?
I think this is a good ending sequence.
It's a very good ending sequence.
It does harken back to the elevator in Diamonds Are Forever, and more specifically the train car in
From Russia with Love. It's
nice.
the close.
And it's a good death for a villain.
It's a great death for a
And
villain.
you see him like fall, and it looks like they show him
Breaking his
fall
leg.
and like break
Yeah.
his leg, and
You know what? You know I'm no fan of the Brosnans, but I will say that this Brosnan movie is better than some of the Connerys and Moores.
whoa.
What the fuck? Who are you again? Are you Ian Fleming?
Yes, and Matt Gorley does not think that way.
Can you just
No, I
stay
do.
here for 5 minutes while
I just ducked behind the couch to pick up my exploding pen. Matt, are you okay?
Oh my god, Matt
Jesus.
is literally dying.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
But I also liked the close hand-to-hand combat in this. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The punches sound hard.
Right, that's right.
It's nice.
It's pretty good.
The punching, it all sounds great. And Natalia somehow gets into a helicopter.
Right.
Somehow gets into a helicopter.
Also, how does that thing get close enough to that satellite?
That's
without
always my
hitting?
problem. The rotor
Yeah.
blades
It's some weird
can't
trick
get that
photography.
close. Yeah.
If I know them, it's
So
probably
huge
good.
fight up atop of the satellite, ending with James Bond murdering Sean Bean.
Yeah, letting him go.
Yeah.
Picture the end of
For
Cable
England,
Guy.
James. he
Pulling a
says.
For Your Eyes
For
Only.
England, James.
Yeah, for me.
Boom. Drops him.
Yeah,
Drops him to his death.
yeah.
No, he's not dead.
Drops
That's
him to his the rest
His
of
life.
his life. To the rest
It
to the rest
does
of his
have
life.
a feel of what is the movie? Is it Naked Gun, where someone keeps getting killed over and over?
Oh yeah, O.J. Simpson where he
Yeah,
falls
that's
off
right.
the
The
boat.
steam
yeah,
roller.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a classic scene.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson, who was a football player, and then he became an actor.
No.
And I think that's
Yeah, no, then he went back to.
then
Then he
he-
went into football commentary.
yeah, very successful
Right.
career after that.
Yeah.
Oh man, those Hertz commercials,
Pretty dope.
pretty great. Pretty great.
Orenthal Simpson,
Orenthal James.
Orenthal
Yeah.
James,
USC.
which is like whenever we're talking about something on either on at midnight or on the Nerdist, and I don't know, and we're talking about someone's middle name, I always say the middle name is Orenthal James.
Do you know what my middle name is?
Orenthal James.
It's just James.
Oh my God,
How about that?
Matthew James.
Yeah, very biblical.
I'm Matthew Paul.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Very biblical as well.
Craig Eli.
You know who?
Oh, Eli's pretty biblical.
Eli's
Katie,
very biblical.
is your middle name Jesus? Oh,
Yeah.
what is it? But you're not going to say what that is? Really? Are we afraid
Well,
people?
we don't need her to tell
Well,
us.
I
what
just
her
thought
middle
she
name
might
is.
wanna be
I'm gonna
Maybe
guess.
there's like some
I'm gonna
stuff she
guess
doesn't
it.
want people to know about.
Do you know what my mom's first name is? Welford.
Welford.
Yeah. Isn't that
First
great?
name?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is kind of crazy. My
She
mother's
goes by
first name
Willie.
is Mary.
Oh,
Again, very biblical.
my mom's name is Welford Catherine Nolan Warden Merrill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, huh?
Matt? I mean, Craig?
Some, like,
What's
there's-
your mother's name?
Barbara.
That's a good name. Barbara's a good name.
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah. Oh, you know who else is a Matthew Paul? Matt Walsh.
Oh, really?
Matthew Paul Walsh. It's fun to learn these things about each
Yeah.
other, guys. James Bond's middle name doesn't have one.
Does he not?
No, it's his first name is Bond. His middle name is James. And his last name is Bond. Bond James. Come on,
He's not
guys.
even being
we're
a
having
pretentious
fun.
dick when he says that. It's just.
It's Bond. James.
All right, so Alec dies.
As I cough us off.
Bond jumps into the helicopter, and then
They land and then they start fucking immediately. But
Like,
then
right into
Wade
it.
shows up.
gets in on the
And
action.
it's
Dwayne
like-
Wade's like, let me dunk this basketball.
D Wade takes his talents to South Beach with the Marines.
And Eric Serra's softcore corn music. What?
Softcore porn music.
Softcore corn music.
Softcore corn.
It's like when you
What
really
that would be.
pour, like soft pores in your skin with corn.
Softcore corn.
And there we have GoldenEye. James Bond.
Golden
Pierce Brosnan's
eye.
first entry into James Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, closing thoughts on now that we've left our good friend Pierce in the past. Now that he's not in our show anymore. Do you have any
feel like-
closing thoughts on Pierce Brosnan?
I like the man a lot.
Love the man.
Don't care for his Bond movies. GoldenEye, pretty respectable film. In its time, though, It still doesn't hold up against the diehards and stuff, though. I don't think.
But as a relaunch of James Bond, it kickstarted it back. Don't you think it gave it a little bit of
Yeah, it definitely
some
gave it
street
the
cred
juice.
again?
That was immediately became the highest grossing James Bond movie since Moonraker.
But I guess the one reason why I feel okay sticking to my guns is a little bit is even at the time, I didn't really love it. I think it felt like Roger Moore light or something. I don't know, or Roger Moore dark. That's my favorite brand of beer.
Yeah, Roger Moore Dark is a great brand of beer. It's not very filling.
What would that be? It'd be like
It's
a raspberry
light,
cider,
it's a
but
light
just
dark. Like it's a dark
like
color.
chocolate and raspberry.
Yeah. That's why you never orders a martini.
It is, if this had a good David Arnold score, it'd probably be a pretty good movie.
David Arnold, who acknowledged us on Twitter at one point, and
That's right.
we were
He
pretty
did.
excited about it.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, here's my closing thoughts on James Bond. James Bond, not James Bond, but Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. 1995, I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
good age?
Right? 12 years old. He was my James Bond from the ages of 12 to 20.
Great age.
That's pretty good. You're gonna love that Bond no matter who you are.
Yeah.
That's your.
That's the problem with my. I'm looking at it through a rose-colored glasses,
Sure.
if you will. I'm remembering a time when I was a teenager, an adolescent boy, and this guy was the coolest guy on the
But
planet.
it's like you had a consistent dad. I didn't. I had Roger Moore and Dalton, and then no one in that formative years.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know what home was. I didn't know how to behave, and as a result, I have daddy issues, and I don't like my Brosnans, and I'm in love with my Craig, and because I like the bad men.
I like Craig a lot too.
Yeah.
I really do.
I like Craig because
Craig's
I'm
a good
him.
guy.
That's
Craig, oh my God,
me.
Craig. So in closing, I mean, Pierce, you turned in some performances.
Yeah, Pierce. I don't want you to think I like you, Pierce, a lot.
Pierce, you know what your best James Bond movie was? The Thomas Crown Affair.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I think
Damn.
That's not even a diss because
No.
that man had full creative control of that movie.
Did he?
Yeah, and that movie came out great.
Well,
haven't
that's
seen
saying
it.
something, I think.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily Brosnan.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really do any hurt acting in
Nope.
that movie. So maybe he was directed into the hurt acting.
Yeah, maybe he was.
We got to get to the bottom of
figure it
this
out.
hurt acting.
James Bonding will return.
With,
Live and Let Die.
and Paul F. Tompkins will be back
Live and Let Die.
by request of himself because he likes this movie.
Rest of himself.
Yes. I'm having trouble with words on account. I'm still jet lagged. Do you know I had my first ever sleep deprivation hallucination?
What?
The night we got back from Scotland and Ireland, I was so tired I hadn't slept.
You didn't sleep on the plane.
Because plane seats are at an angle where your head continually falls forward no matter where you sit.
Uh-huh.
And so I was in my bed, but I definitely passed out. And 30 seconds later, I sprung up and went, "He's in the house." And my girlfriend freaked out. And then I immediately knew I was hallucinating, but it didn't stop because I'm like, well, there can't be a purple straw man that's invading our house. And then I knew I was hallucinating, but I saw things to my right and my left. And I've never had that happen before. It was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then what I started to see was diminishing. It was like your eyeball floaters when you see those
Yeah.
little specks. They would just flit in and disappear, but it was really
It's
something.
funny how your brain has to assign things
Yeah, I
to
just was
whatever objects
exhausted.
are in its view.
So I've been waking up at 4:30 and 6 a.m. every morning. And
But that shouldn't let people who are thinking about going to Scotland, England, that shouldn't color their whole perception of what it's like to go on a trip.
I think it should.
If
I will
there's
tell
somebody
you,
listening,
I will tell you exactly what you do. If you're going to fly over to England, take a little Dream Water with you. You can buy it in the airport. Dream Water is just like it's a water that has a little
Dream
whatever
in it.
the hell NyQuil has in it.
You don't know what you're going to get until you drink it.
And
You'll be flying or
get
your
on the
teeth.
plane.
will
what
fall
does
out.
it have in
maybe
it?
you take a little NyQuil.
Wait, what is this?
Whatever NyQuil has that puts you to sleep.
Oh,
It's called Dream Water.
opiates?
Never heard of this. I'm a grown man.
You'll look at an airport. You'll see it, and you take that as soon as you get in the terminal.
Really?
Drink that shit up. You get on the plane about an hour in, out cold for the full 10-hour flight.
Our luggage was lost the entire way there and the entire way back. We got it a little bit late. But also, I went to my family ancestral home, like Skyfall in Ireland, but it's all broken down. It ain't the same. It's like after the fire. Anyway, we really got to run.
Craig, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, you can listen to that podcast that I mentioned an hour and a half ago called It's That Episode.
Yep.
Check it out. Matt's a guest. People are guests. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And just be yourself.
Be
That's
yourself.
Another
That's
thing
really what
is
I want to say to you.
just be yourself and call a friend you haven't called in a while.
Yes. Tell them you appreciate them.
Why not?
You know? Maybe.
And you know what? If you're mad at a friend, put it away. Put that away and just put it behind you.
Craig, good advice. As always, thank you.
You guys got some entertainment and some life advice here today.
Yeah, you got everything. I don't know what more you could want from a podcast.
I don't either.
For Matt Gorley and for Matt Myra, we are saying so long and have a
I'm
wonderful
wondering if this is a new catchphrase
afternoon.
I've been alerted to.
Just remember these two things. Never let them see you bleed.
Yeah.
And always have an escape plan.
Also, can we say we will do our best to be weekly, but just it is a super busy time for us. So.
It's a super busy time for both of us.
Yeah.
I'm working like a maniac over on At Midnight, which you can tune into at midnight.
And I'm cloning children.
He's doing that, and Matt is also working on writing some stuff that needs to get done. So we're going to try our best.
And I'm just chilling.
You never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child.
Goodbye, everybody.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.